fix that. Not public transportation, not Uber, certainly not private cars. The situation where we're at is, this doesn't seem to work. Okay. Sorry for technical difficulties. All right, yeah. So the problem is that currently 50% of us in the world live in cities. By 2050, it's going to be 2/3. And we love cars. We love them. There's 1 billion of them in the world. And you think that most of them in America, okay, so there's lots of them in America, but in reality, there's actually more cars per person in Germany, Italy, and Spain than in America. And there's more cars being sold in China than in America. We live in cities that are full of these metal hunks that we use for 4% of the day. So this is something that a typical household is the second biggest outlay after their home or the apartment that we use for maybe an hour a day. Doesn't seem very rational, right? In reality, it creates a lot of problems. One of them is congestion, meaning how much time do you really spend sitting behind the wheel of your car. In UK, an average motorist spends more than 10 hours a week behind a car. That means basically 3 years in someone's life. For comparison's sake, they spend 4.6 hours socializing with their friends and family. So cars are twice as important as your friends or your family. Not ideal, is it? Then about pollution, there's obviously issues like climate change, but there's more. When we live in cities which are very packed and otherwise efficient, then the pollution as far as air particulate matter is a big problem. It causes respiratory diseases and even worse. And as far as just CO2, then in Europe, 12% of CO2 is actually produced by private cars. And then there's actually how we allocate space in our cities. In Copenhagen, there's 3 parking spots per 1 car because we need to go from place to place. What that leads to is that in some of the larger cities, up to 30% of land is actually used for parking spaces. We build skyscrapers and fill them with cars. This is hardly the efficient way, this is hardly the technologically advanced way, and this is probably not the cities that we want to live in. So enter Uber, right? 6 years ago, our founders were in Paris, it was snowing, they tried to get a cab, they couldn't. They thought that, well, why can't I just push a button on the phone and get the transportation? So, great idea. 6 years later, we're in more than 70 countries, more than 400 cities in the world, including Vilnius. We've done more than 2 billion trips, more than 5 million a day. We have more than 50 million riders. So, really big numbers, right? So, and then a small and simple idea. Download an app, push a button, get a car, rate the drive later so that the quality would be really good. Create a system that has high efficiency so the cost is really low and everyone is happy, right? Create opportunities for people, economic opportunities as well. And this is the same already in Vilnius. This graphic here shows all the trips in Vilnius during August. So clearly the city is very well covered, but there's still places to go. And this is a city where we launched in November last year, so less than 1 year. So thank you very much. Further, I think this battery is dying. It's not battery, it's me. Oh, here we go. Okay, so extending transit and connecting communities. So why does Uber care about public transportation? Well, as I said, Uber or private transportation themselves cannot just be the only solution. And I have a few examples from the world. So this is London, and this shows Uber trips during morning rush hours. And 30% of our trips in London boroughs, or like suburbs, during the time end or start within 200 meters of a tube or a rail station. Meaning that Uber is used as the first mile, basically taking Uber from home to the train station and then going to the city to work, or downtown. This is Paris. Paris has, as I said, excellent public transportation. Nevertheless, there are 15 million car rides every day in Paris. They have horrible air pollution problems, up to the point that they're actually outlawing those cars. Again, what Uber can do is Uber can make public transportation more not transparent, but more flexible. It's very expensive to create a metro line, huge capital expenditure. And it's also obvious that a metro cannot be at everyone's door. But sometimes it might be that you actually live miles away from the closest metro station, and then your office is right next door in downtown. So what do you do, right? We don't have the public resources to build public transportation that goes everywhere. But we have these platforms like Uber and smartphones, the technology that exists, that without one single cent of taxpayer money, we can extend public transportation and reduce the need for private car ownership. So that is our goal, to reduce the need of private car ownership. Here in Paris, it shows that up to 10% of our rides are actually to areas that are with much lower income levels and that are actually much worse catered to by the public transportation. But it's more. It's also about timing. So here we have a lot of our cities in the US and showing the trip volume during Fridays, the Friday evenings. And you see that there's a huge jump past midnight. And guess what? During that time, there are no public transportation options available. And taxis are very difficult to find, which means that you need a flexible solution for that, which would be exactly that certain people, or some people, want to earn a little bit more money instead of going out drinking, and so they join Uber, and on Friday night they switch the app on, and they take people to their homes safely, conveniently, and for a reasonable price. But there's more. I mean, there's so many examples, right? But this is a data company, so we love data and we love showing data. This here is California. It's close to San Francisco, and here we plot rides in San Francisco Bay Area where the endpoint has been close to a railway station, meaning that we know that these people have used Uber to get from their home to public transportation and then go to the city. Again, avoiding the need to sit in a traffic jam, avoiding the need to pay for parking, and using these two options to create a much better and more effective city. And so it's all great, right? There's London, there's Paris, there's San Francisco, glamorous, huge cities. But what about us, right? What about Baltics and what about Vilnius? Today, we're super happy to announce a partnership to take a first step towards making our cities much more effective, much easier to commute in, and to connect public transportation and Uber in more effective ways. And I want to call Regimantas here from TRAFI.
Hello guys, my name is Regimantas. I'm CMO of TRAFI. I don't know if all of you know, but TRAFI is actually a Lithuanian company. We started as Marshruta LT 7 years ago, and 3 years ago we started our operations as TRAFI. At the moment, you know, we're a team of 50 people, and we're operating in 8 countries. And probably some of you heard that we've been a public transport app during the Rio Olympics in Brazil. We just launched in 5 biggest cities in the US, and there's like a lot of key milestones we achieved. But I think today is one of the big achievements, and I'm very, very proud to stand here next to Uber, because actually from today on, we just enabled that if you would update your TRAFI app, you would already see Uber integration in TRAFI app. So from today, we're partnering with Uber in Vilnius and Tallinn to provide multimodal traveling opportunity for you. So what does it mean? As Anne was showing previously, sometimes public transport might not be enough, or it doesn't reach the end point of your trip, or maybe the starting point is very far away from the nearest public station. So that's why from now on you will see that Uber will be shown where it's relevant for the users to complete their full trip. It could be your first mile or the last mile, and you know, in some cases maybe Uber will be the ultimate solution and the easiest version for you. So you could see now in the background how it works, that once you type your address, and if it's outside the public transport network, you will see that there's an option actually to complete your trip with Uber. And if you click on it, you will see that black line shows what part of the trip you need to travel with Uber, and it would show you when exactly, you know, you will arrive to the bus station, a bus stop, and from bus stop, how you could complete your trip. And if you're happy with that, you just click on get a ride, and you'll end up in Uber, and you could get a car for this trip. So we're very, very excited, because for us as a TRAFI, it's a first step towards multimodal traveling, and eventually into urban mobility space, where all travel options could be integrated. And it's a first step of Uber, so I'm very excited, and I hope you're all gonna use that feature.
Yeah, who hasn't yet, then definitely download the TRAFI app today. So yeah, we're super excited. This is really, we've done these partnerships before, but TRAFI is moving really quickly. We started talking perhaps last week, and here we are. And it's really great to be doing things with a Lithuanian startup, being in Vilnius, where we have a software development center as well. So we're really excited. We'll see where it goes, and we want to together basically make the cities better. Thank you. If you have any questions, we'll be more than happy to answer you. Or if not, then just if you see us anywhere, come and say hi, and we'll be glad to talk. Thank you very much.